guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about sampling method, population, parameter, and the list goes on. So this is our chapter 10 and here we go. So as you know, the entire being of sampling comes from your population, and this is the entire group of people we wish to gather information from. From your population can be broken down in a few other steps. So there are things you can take from your population if you want to be more precise. For example, you can take out a frame out of this population, and that's known as your sample frame. And your sample frame is basically the list of people or objects within your population. And these are the people you are interested in. All right, and so once you're interested in these people, there comes your parameter of interest. But prior to that, you also need a sample from your population. The ideal sample size is 10% of the entire population. Sometimes there are regions where you won't have 10% due to the size you have working with, or you will have more than 10%. So the more people you have in your sample, the better your conclusions will be, and it will be more precise, accurate, and get to the point. From your sample, we can represent our sample as the mean and the standard deviation of the entire population. And you guys know how to find the mean, you know how to find the standard deviation. And again, from this, the idea of the bell curve comes in, because the mean will be the center of the population, and the standard deviation either increasing or it's to the left, increasing or decreasing. So these will give an idea of where your population stands and help you to answer questions that comes after. As I was saying, as it relates to your sample, you will have your parameter of interest, and from this, also you can think about the mean and the standard deviation. But the parameter of interest is basically a numeric characteristic of your population. As I mentioned, your mean or your standard deviation. Sometimes it will be given to you as a percent, or it will be given to you as a fraction of the entire whole. For example, they could say that 50% of this population are children who are orphaned, or they could say of the 1,000 people of the population, 500 are orphans. So the difference varies, but the idea is still the same. From your sample comes sample variability. And the word variability here tells you that one sample varies from the other. And this is important, as when you're drawing conclusions, it will help you to see how the samples differ. Another name for sample variability is sample error. And these errors are random, can be made from the method of sampling that you choose. Most cases, simple random sampling, stratified, cluster, systematic, and so the error may come from those. However, the reasons may be random, and we bear this in mind as we know that carrying out a sampling method or carrying out a research, errors will happen from the researcher's perspective, and errors can happen from also the respondents, and that's where the idea of bias comes in. In our next video, we'll talk about some more about the errors that are there and bias, and how we can identify these bias and how we can eliminate these bias from our sampling distribution. I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you.